This is not for beginners, and I honestly recommend that you give it a try on a few scrap pieces of PVC before you even attempt it, because you can really wreck your boat. Well, welcome back everybody. So in this video, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to show you guys how to weld your patches in your boat. This is not for beginners, and I honestly recommend that you give it a try on a few scrap pieces of PVC. So as you guys can see, this is my little testing patches here. Seeing what works, what doesn't work, what temperatures is the best temperatures, how I would do certain little pockets like this. People wanted have like little storage compartments on their boat. But today's project is going to be right here. Fixing this hole, we're going to weld a patch in. But first we're going to have to clean this all up, get rid of the faulty patch that was installed here. What they ended up doing was they glued it up on the floor, and then right when the floor gave way, and since we're about to do a floor job, we went to just pull it back like I'm doing right now. See how weak it is? But yeah, I went to pull it back and it ripped that patch right out. I'm gonna get started on this, getting it all cleaned up. And then after, we're going to pull out the heat gun there, and I'll show you the temperatures and stuff you guys are going to need to do something like this. But once again, this isn't for the faint of heart, and you can really mess things up. So, I'm not telling you guys how to do this, I'm just showing you how I do it. So a couple things we have to keep in mind here when doing these is the quality of the fabric before you could do any welding. You got to make sure it's nice and pliable. Just got a little bit of stick to it. You know, like this boat right here, she's really good to do the welding on. When you start getting to fabric that's really chemically damaged, right where it's all hardened, like this one right here, you can feel it. It's just hear it and feel it. You won't be able to really weld with this material, especially when it's so badly chemically damaged. But you might be able to if you clean it up really good, but I can't see it. It's going to create more headache for yourself. So something like this, patch, material like this, we can weld, because you know it's no UV damage, no chemical damage. It's nice and pliable. Let's get going. So as you guys can see, we've got the inner baffle right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of air pressure in this chamber and push the air baffle back into that chamber, so in this way we don't do any damage when we start to do the welding. See, there's a little more baffle there in the way. Let's deflate the boat on this chamber here and get it ready for the to do some welding. All right, we're gonna start by using our MEK and stuff. Alright, as you can see, she's cleaned up pretty good. A little bit of an abrasion there, but you know what? We're gonna do this little patch that comes down like that. I'll show you guys what's gonna be done here. So, more fish our inner patch just to prevent any heat damage. And all this patch is going to do is it's going to prevent any of the heat from the inside, from the melting of this, from going on the other side of the fabric there. All right, so let's heat up the gun. Whenever you're going to weld, make sure your the patch is just a little bit bigger than the tip, so this way it can get in there and it can melt both sides and get nice good bonding between the two surfaces. Alright, let's set our gun now to the temperature range that we want it at. For this boat, we're going to want it at around 300 to 320, which is just a little bit above the 4. Now if we go to the chart here, that's what we got to deal with for temperature ranges. As you can see, I'm going to use my silicone roller about halfway, and I'll do about 3/4 of the patch, and then I'll flip it over and do the other quarter. Alright, so now we're just gonna spray it down with some nice cold water here so it can shrink everything back into place. So now that everything has cooled down, you can see it definitely did its job. But now that everything's cooled down, we're gonna inflate the boat. And just like that, that's how you weld a patch on your inflatable boat. I would have used some green material if I had, but you know, you got to use what you got in stock. This time is money, and these things sitting around, summer's a little too short for to be putzking around and waiting for colors. So now that this is done, I can now go work off onto the floor, put the floor back in this boat, and then we'll have another boat back in the water. But yeah, this is something It's something that I'd only recommend for professionals, especially because you can do some serious damage to your boat. As you'll see, it's melted really nicely. And you can see even under pressure, she's not even leaking. I'm just going around the edges to making sure nothing's lifting up there, and she's as good as gold. I hope you guys enjoyed that nice little demonstration I gave you guys. Make sure you hit that like button that's somewhere around here. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks for watching, because we'll see you guys on the next video. Stay safe and happy boating, everybody.